Okay, so we are live. Can you check whether we have already gone live?
I don't see it yet, Vishwa.
Yeah, it should be there soon. Unfortunately, I'm not going to permit others who are somebody I can't really see. Okay, fine. All right, so let's get probably started. So,
I don't see in live YouTube yet, Vishwa.
yeah, YouTube happens at the last. YouTube will happen in a minute because it all takes some time to go through several.
Yeah, it's coming now.
Yes, perfect. There are actually a few people who have joined this morning, which is great. But unfortunately, those whose names are not visible, I'm not really going to be allowing them to join because we just got hacked a few times. We don't want to again put ourselves into some sort of a problem. So I'll try to keep. Okay, so great. Let's get started. All right. So good morning. Good morning, everyone. So thanks so much for joining today. So we have people who are joining from US, and we have the whole East Coast of Canada. Good morning, everyone. So thanks so much for joining today. So we have people. Where is the feedback coming from?
Carry on. Carry on, Vishwa.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we have the whole East Coast joining today. So Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland, and New Brunswick. So welcome, Prakash. It's very nice that we have you here. It was very nice in the beginning. We were just having some nice conversations and going on, and then we had quite an experience of people hacking. I've only read it in news. This is the first time I'm seeing myself how we got hacked into this meeting.
Experience leads to belief.
Yes, sure. Okay, so just so everyone knows Prakash, he is also fondly called as Computer Prakash, and that's one of the questions. The first questions probably we are going to be asking him. And then we will. There are two sides to Prakash. One is on the corporate world, he is actually a co-founder and CEO of Sea Change Consulting. He is also a turnaround and a strategic expert. And then he is also an avid meditator, a reader, and an author of several books as well. On the other hand, he has a life in Heartfulness. And in Heartfulness, he has 28 plus years of being a meditator in the Heartfulness way. And he currently serves the president of Sri Ramchandra Mission as a secretary. He is also a zonal coordinator for CMZ, that is the Chennai Metro Zone, one of the largest metro zones in the world. And he has written 1,000 plus blogs. And he also comes very frequently on YouTube. He touches several aspects on several topics. So we are very happy that we are able to be with Prakash today. And today what we would like to do is it's not really like any structured meeting. We would like to make it a little unstructured, so that way people who are in this Zoom or we are also having people who are watching out in YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So if there are people who have any questions, they are open to ask any questions, and we will see how best we can take those questions and then have Prakash answer them. And one interesting thing is we have friends and family from Quebec who are mostly French speaking. So what we will have is, if Claude is there on the line, we will have her translate whatever Prakash has to say in French, and then we will go. So the way how we are going to do it is 9:06. So we will have some questions for Prakash, and then the theme of the session today is do I need a guide to meditate? So that's the theme we have. So we will get started, and after around 40 minutes or so, we will have a group meditation session. And Prakash has been gracious enough to offer one sitting, and then we will go from there. So Prakash, how do you feel so far? So far, good?
I feel good. I was just wondering whether to say good night, go to sleep because it's Indian time here. I can't go to sleep because after my session, Daji is going to come live. Or should I say good morning, come over there and do a sort of a jogging session with you? On two counts, it can't happen. One, physically, I am at a very, very long distance away. And second, social distancing won't permit. And hence, I'll just say hi from here to start off.
Perfect. Perfect. So Prakash, we are looking for a fun session, and we are here to learn from your experience. So we will probably start from there. First question is Prakash. How did you get the name Computer Prakash? See, we all work in computer field, but we don't get called with the prefix of computer. But how did you get the name Computer Prakash?
Way back in '92 when I joined the mission, and Chariji Maharaj was the third global guide of Sri Ramchandra mission. I got to know him closely within about a year's time of me joining the mission, and initially he was calling me my different surnames. I mean, he always likes to know people who are very close to him, who serve him in close quarters by certain names so that it becomes easy for him to identify as to how they should call. And one day suddenly he decided to start calling me as Computer Prakash. 3-4 times I asked him as to why he gave that name, to that extent where towards the last leg of his life, he dropped my actual name. He used to call me just as Computer. in fact, the surname CP that you see in many of my posts, my social handles and all that was actually given by him. A few times I asked him as to why did you name, and he always used to smile off and not answer the question. But one of the days, through somebody else who asked him that question, I got an answer. I don't know exactly if I'm quoting or I might be paraphrasing. They just said that when they asked this question, he gave them a look and said that, he is almost like a computer, both in thinking and doing work. I didn't hear it firsthand from him, but I was happy enough to write it in my diary and leave it at that. So the name struck, whatever it is worth.
Interesting. So, Claude, would you want to translate this in French so our French friends and family can also understand? Oh, hold on. I need to actually unmute Claude, otherwise she can't. So bear with me. Let me just find Claude first. Where is Claude?
The cloud?
Oh. Chat off.
Or we just continue because we have only 40 minutes. Maybe later she can do it, play it offline and share. So that way the flow becomes very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see if I can. Claude, can you unmute yourself by any chance? Is it possible?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Ouais, bonjour tout le monde. Nous avons le cofondateur des changements de la mer. C'est une compagnie de consultants. Il est aussi un expert en stratégie. Alors, c'est notre frère Prakash. Il est aussi auteur de plusieurs livres. Il a eu une vie aussi dans Heartfulness depuis 20 ans. Et il occupe le poste de secrétaire du président et puis il est aussi en charge de la zone de Chennai, qui est une des plus grandes zones. Il a écrit plus de 1000 blogs sur YouTube et autres plateformes. On est très heureux d'être avec lui aujourd'hui. C'est un meeting, une rencontre qui est non structurée, mais pour donner la chance à tous les gens qui sont sur les plateformes de lui poser des questions. Alors, la première question de Vishwa, c'était comment vous avez obtenu le titre de Computer Prakash, parce que le maître l'appelait comme ça. Lorsqu'il a s'est joint à la mission en 1982, le maître l'appelait souvent comme ça, et puis il lui a demandé 3 ou 4 fois pourquoi vous m'appelez comme ça, mais le maître ne faisait que sourire. Et puis, à la fin de sa vie, le maître l'appelait seulement, il avait laissé tomber le mot Prakash et il l'appelait seulement computer ou ordinateur. Alors, quelqu'un un jour a clarifié que c'est parce que il avait une façon, il était un peu comme un ordinateur dans sa façon de penser et de travailler sans arrêt. Voilà, c'est terminé.
It's almost like a reverse medium. I am telling in English, he is translating in French. The medium used to get it in French and it used to get translated in English. I'm saying it's reversing now.
Yes. So yeah, from the whispers, right? Babuji sends the messages and then it gets, from French
to English. Here it's English to French.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, Claude. Okay. So the important question for you, Prakash. You see, when I started Heartfulness, right? I was not really looking for heartfulness. I tried different things, and then there was a story how I got into heartfulness. But that's not the subject of the discussion today. How did you get into heartfulness? Because like you have been meditating for 28 plus years, right? So like now, at least with the social media, everyone gets to know, heartfulness. Everyone knows. But 28 years back, how did you find heartfulness?
It was a strange coincidence, whether you believe it or not. The first time actually I got an exposure to heartfulness was in 86, 87. I continued to be a salesman in Blood and Spirit. In one of the deals that I was closing, I happened to meet a gentleman who was the finalizing authority for a very big order. And on his table, just behind his table, I found the photograph of Chariji Maharaj. I asked him, who is it? He just said he's my guru, and the conversation ended there. Neither did he expand, nor did I ask him anything further. Later, I found out that he is also a preceptor of the mission. He still continues to be there. And after 1 or 2 years, I joined a martial arts class session, which I practiced for about 4 or 5 years. I almost came close to getting a black belt, but I stopped somewhere short. I hope she can pick up. Claude, you want to translate now, or can I finish?
You can finish, I'm writing.
Okay, thank you. So what happened is, during the time, I used to find that my sensei, as we call the teacher, who taught the martial arts, called Shorinji Kempo. In Japanese, it's called the way of the open hand. He used to go down quite often from the dojo, the place where we used to learn the martial arts. And he used to be locked with some people and then come back. And whenever he used to ask him, what do you do? He just said, I went to meditate. It so happened that he was also a preceptor, subsequently left the mission, but he never even once mentioned what meditation was. The only thing is that at the end of the practice of every day in the dojo, we used to recite the mission prayer, O Master, which I was exposed way back in 88 without even knowing what it stood for, what it meant. We used to, at the end, he will tell us this is the prayer you have to recite, we used to do. And subsequently, after 4 years, 92 is when I got exposed through a colleague of mine who was my junior, and both of us being bachelors had nothing to do to kill time. No social media, no internet, no email, nothing other than telephone. So every day evening, we used to sit and talk. He was already meditating in Heartfulness for close to a year. He used to share a lot about what his experiences were. And coming from a very religious background, I didn't take it very easily as to why do I need a person in between to reach God. And he gave me Principles of Sahaj-Marg, Volume 1, 2, and 3 over a period of about 4 months. These were the talks given by Chariji Maharaj when he had traveled with Babaji overseas in 70s and 80s, which had a collection of all introduction material to Sahaj-Marg. And after going through it for about 4 months or 5 months, my doubts were cleared. I felt that this is a system I need to take into. And then he put me on to a preceptor, and that's how it started. Claude, you want to translate?
Yeah. C'est une coïncidence étrange. Tout le monde se demande comment on se joint à la mission. Et dans son cas, c'est qu'en 86, il était en train de conclure un marché par l'entremise de son travail. Et la personne avec qui il faisait affaire avait une photo de Chariji Maharaj sur son bureau. Il a demandé qui c'était. Il lui a dit, c'est mon gourou, mais ça s'est arrêté là. Et plus tard, il s'est joint aux arts martiaux. Il pratiquait beaucoup les arts martiaux pendant 4 ou 5 ans. Il s'est quasiment rendu jusqu'à la ceinture noire. Et il avait un sensei, et ce sensei qui était de la tradition de chemin vers la main ouverte. Et puis, souvent, il le voyait partir pour aller en groupe à quelque part. Alors, il lui a demandé qu'est-ce qu'il faisait. Il dit, ben, je médite. Et puis, finalement, il s'est rendu compte qu'il était un précepteur, mais il ne l'avait jamais mentionné. Mais ce qui était particulier, c'est qu'à la fin de chaque pratique d'arts martiaux, il récitait une prière, et cette prière, c'était la prière de la mission au maître, tu es le seul but de la vie humaine. Alors, en 92, il avait beaucoup de temps aussi sur les mains parce qu'il n'était pas encore marié, et puis il discutait beaucoup avec un collègue de travail qui lui aussi allait méditer, et ils ont partagé beaucoup leurs expériences, mais il était quand même un peu dubitatif. Alors, ce qu'il a fait, c'est que son collègue lui a passé un livre, Les principes du Sahaj-Marg. Et la raison pourquoi il était dubitatif, c'est que lui, il est très religieux. Alors, pourquoi avait-il besoin d'un médium pour arriver entre les deux, entre lui et Dieu? Et puis finalement, après avoir revisé le livre pendant 4 mois, ses doutes se sont envolés et il a été introduit. Merci. That's it.
Merci beaucoup.
So Prakash, one feedback is like, we have people watching from Winnipeg, and they have a request, like if you can speak a little slow, they will be able to follow you. This is a feedback which I get often. So
the reason is the clamp you have put of 45 minutes.
Well, no, we will explore all these things. Like, we have very interesting set of questions that we have received from people.
Carry on.
So we will do it. So one interesting thing is, Prakash, it's very interesting the way how you say it, which is like, without even you having to get into heartfulness. Like you just had the mission prayer as part of your martial arts class. And then like later on, somewhere down the line, you got introduced to Sajma. It's very interesting.
Next time when you meet me, stay at least 5 feet away.
Okay, yes. I will do that one. Okay, so one question for you is, in these 28 plus years, Prakash, heartfulness and Prakash, how have you evolved as a person? How has heartfulness helped you evolve?
I mean, this question is best answered by those who have seen me, because if I say anything, I may not be exactly, I mean, if you're growing in height, I don't think you know how fast you have grown. Your mother or your sister or your brother will be able to tell you. I mean, the right people who can judge and give you some feedback are the people with whom I have interacted a lot. You have also seen me for a year or more till now.
Yes.
But I know what I was before I joined the mission. Being in sales and coming from apparently an intellectual Brahminical background, arrogance was oozing 20 feet. Even before you see me, you can feel my arrogance and pride in the air. And that is one thing which went off. It took about 2-3 years to a great extent. I can't say it's completely gone yet. I got grounded a lot thanks to meeting. I have met almost more than 100 to 200,000 people in interacting with them, because they all used to come to meet Chariji in Manapakam. And it gave me a lot of perspectives about how minuscule we are in this world and how small we are. And that helped me to really understand that we are part of a very, very large universe. And if we just continue to make the changes, if you go and look up my FB status, it will just say that going from self to self, the self will be a small self to big self. And the transition, I think, has been happening well to the extent that I have mellowed down a lot. And there have been tremendous amount of balancing that has come in. Your ability to look at things in a very balanced, unemotional, unattached way. And of course, the internal spiritual progress is something only the master knows. But I do know to a great extent what I've been bestowed with in terms of the spiritual progress and gifts. And I'm hoping to map that in terms of my character formation as well. There is a gap. For example, he has put me, I'm just giving an example, don't take me literally, assuming he has put me in 10th or 11th point. I may still not be in 10th or 11th point in terms of my matching character, but maybe somewhere at 4th or 5th. But that I believe is still work in progress, but I'm reasonably doing okay. On a scale of 10, maybe 6 on 10. Sister, you want to?
Ready, you can.
Oui, merci. Alors, on lui a demandé qu'est-ce que ça lui a apporté de méditer, la pratique de la méditation. Alors, il dit que les personnes qui me connaissent, ceux qui sont le plus près de moi peuvent attester que ce que j'étais avant de me joindre à la mission et comment j'ai grandi. Je viens d'un background de brahmine. Alors, mes antécédents brahminiques ont fait de moi ce que je suis, mais pendant 2-3 années, je me suis ancrée dans la pratique. Et pendant ce temps-là, j'ai rencontré de 200 à 300 000 personnes et je me suis rendu compte à quel point j'étais minuscule. J'ai rencontré toutes ces personnes parce que j'étais près du maître et qu'ils venaient tous le visiter. Alors, on fait vraiment partie d'un grand univers, on est très minuscule et on doit pouvoir procéder du self avec un grand S au self de petit s avec un self avec le soi-même avec un grand S, la meilleure partie de nous-mêmes. Alors, c'est une façon de rejoindre une balance au point de vue, à plusieurs points de vue. Et même si le maître nous élève jusqu'à un point très élevé côté statut de spiritualité, comme au point 10 par exemple, mais ça ne veut pas dire que notre caractère a rejoint ce niveau-là. Alors, il faut travailler vraiment sur notre caractère. Merci.
Well, awesome, awesome. So, like Prakash, we would like to continue on this one, but we are also parallelly looking at the social media handles. And one question has come to you that we asked this question to you. This is from Shruti PSK. Will meditation overcome fear? They would like to hear from you.
You see, I'm also, if you really look at my profile, for the last 35 years, I have been into what we call as leadership coaching and helping people to motivate and be inspired. I always say that one of the best ways to overcome fear is to actually face it. You can keep on talking about being afraid of darkness, but the only way in which is something that Chariji taught me way back in 93, 94. Said, Prakash, if you have to face anything, if you're afraid, go and just face it. If you're afraid of darkness, go into darkness. What will happen at best? Or what will happen at worst? You're going to die, or you're going to be bitten by something, or you're going to be scared. That's okay. You can face it. But if you stay away from what actually you call as fear, fear is not a all-encompassing word. There are only a few things that we fear. I mean, I don't fear my mother. I don't fear my wife. I don't fear my daughter. I don't fear my guru because I love them. So only a few things that we fear. What is the best way to face fear? To handle fear is to face it. And what is meditation teaching you? Face yourself. The worst of all the nightmares that you have in the world actually comes from within of you, inside of you. What you fear as darkness, I may not really care. If I'm a bat or an owl, I would rather love darkness. So if I'm able to face it, I can overcome anything in this world, including fear of water, fear of darkness, fear of relationships, fear of being deprived of love. I have to face, and meditation is what actually has given me time and again to face, confront, and overcome. To a great extent that what Chariji's words, it still reverberates in my ears. He said, I am here to make lions. I don't want to make lambs or sheep. And I'm very sure that if he's watching from above, and Daji can say with certainty that at least they made a cub out of me, if not a full-grown lion.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Claude?
OK, mon profil, c'est que je suis quelqu'un qui est un entraîneur, qui guide les gens, un motivateur. Et la meilleure façon de faire face à nos peurs, c'était la question, c'est de leur faire face. Si on dit j'ai peur du noir, ben Shariji Maharaj ou Guru Maharaj nous disait toujours va avec courage et va y faire face. Si tu te tiens à l'écart de tes peurs, ça ne fonctionnera pas. En fait, on a peur d'un nombre limité de peurs qui nous sont spécifiques. La meilleure façon de s'en approcher, de leur faire face, c'est de méditer. Parce que la méditation vous enseigne à faire face à vous-même. Alors, toutes les peurs, finalement, nous viennent ou proviennent ou sont issues de l'intérieur. Alors, pour passer par-dessus ou pour se débarrasser de n'importe quoi de négatif sur la Terre, que ce soit des relations, qu'on ait peur des relations, qu'on ait peur du noir, etc., ben, c'est de leur faire face avec courage. Alors, Guru Maharaj ou Shariji disait toujours, je suis ici pour faire des lions et non des moutons. Merci, that's it.
Merci.
Okay. So we have received one more question.
Yeah.
We will take it up in a bit. Okay.
No issues.
So the first thing that I wanted to check with you is, Prakash, there is a theme today, which is like, do we need a guide for meditation? So we will jump into it in a bit. What we would like to understand is, one interesting thing about you is you have had the associations with, Chariji, who was the third global guide of Heartfulness, and you are now associated with, Daji, who is the fourth global guide of Heartfulness. Let's just dwell on the aspect of your association with Chariji. How did you get to be introduced to Chariji, and what struck you when you actually met him? Do you have any incidents that you would like to share with us?
It's a very, very, very long story, but I'll see if I can present it short. Actually, in 92, even before I joined the mission, I was heading a very large organization as the national marketing head, doing very good. And at the time, there was a very big organization in India, which was one of the largest computer network distributors. They wanted to offer me a plum post, which was unbelievable. 5 times the offer of what I was already making, 5 times, 5x. And that was the time I had just got my introductory sittings. And when I got the introductory sittings, I hadn't met Charity for almost 6 months from the time I took my sitting. But my preceptor spoke so much about him that I got glued on. And he indirectly told me that the fastest way to progress is to be where the guru is there. And I turned down this offer to stay back in Chennai, which is something that even today is logically not explainable. I stayed back and I felt I need to come closer to this person who is my guru. I still didn't know him. And after that, I started slowly making attempts to get to know him. And the job which I did perfectly well for 20 years, somebody else was doing, where they kept on stopping me from meeting him. Every time he used to go, they used to say, Chariji is busy, you can't meet him, it's not possible, he's busy, and blah, blah. And those days, there were hardly 40 people in Ashram. You can imagine. And finally, one of the days, I remember it was 21st of November, 93, which was a Sunday. I made a point that I will meet him today somehow. And went to the ashram in the morning. He came, of course, he comes on Friday evening, he used to stay till Sunday evening, along with Mami, Sulochana Mami. And he gave the satsang in the morning. I made attempts up to 11 o'clock and they didn't let me in. I really got, I mean, I don't want to use the beep word, but I literally ran away home, dejected, highly dejected, and what the hell, I mean, forget it. The ego took over again. Around 2:33, when I woke up after the afternoon nap on a Sunday, I just said, let me make one more attempt. Being a salesman, I didn't want to give up. I went to ashram at around 4. He used to come at around 5 o'clock for the evening satsang. Those days it was 4:30, in fact. I went at 3:45, took a seat just opposite his chair so that I went early so that I will get a chance to sit close to him. And throughout the satsang, I was only making a thoughtful connection from the heart that if you don't meet me today, it's all over. Kind of stuff, threatening him in some way, crying, threatening, whatever. And at the end of the satsang, he gave me a look from the chair, but he got up and left. And literally ran after him. But if you remember the old cottage, I don't know how many of you know the Manapakam old cottage. I ran behind him, and before I went there, a very small boy was put on duty. I still remember the chubby face, 7 years old. He said, Uncle, you can't go in, Master is busy. I really said, I mean, forget it here. To hell with it. And still I thought, anyway, I knew that TMR 3756, that ambassador which Chariji used to use, was waiting outside with Brother Vijay Rangan was about to drive in. And I knew it's only a question of time before Chariji popped out. I said, let me wait here. And as he came out, I ran close to him. I was about to introduce. He just literally shrugged me off and got into the car. And it was one more big, sort of a fistful knock saying that I don't care types. I knew he had, through the corner of his eye, he had looked at me, but somehow I still didn't crack. I was again thinking what to do, but I said that it's not yet lost. I went to the ashram in a scooter those days. I still remember it was a Kinetic Honda TN07C0445. I took that and because it's still etched very deep in my memory, my first meeting with him. I literally ran behind him, and before the car left Manapakam Ashram, I had latched onto my two-wheeler, started following him like they would follow a girlfriend, And one of the first signals where he stopped, where he had to, it was red. I went and stood. He used to sit on the left side window, and right side Vijayarangan uncle, Brother Vijayarangan was driving. I went and introduced myself. Hello, Master, I'm Prakash. He just said, Prakash. And by the time it would turn green, and he started driving again. And I thought, my God. And as the vehicle went on, there was a turn near Kotrupuram Bridge where he used to go to Gayatri. I am supposed to go straight home. I said, no, I will not leave it. I'll go behind him. I followed the car and slowly went behind. And I have never been to Gayatri before, which was his house in Alwarpet. As the car closed in into Gayatri, the salesman inside me took over. I parked the scooter, opened the dicky, picked up about 3-4 bags and ran inside the house as if I'm offering some service. And when I went in, by the time he had got down and went inside, put his the towel and all that way he does, he came out and sat. And by the time I felt somehow his face had become, he was smiling and all that, he just asked me, welcome home. It was one of the first words he said. And this was about 5:45 or so. And that day night, it was 10:45 when I came back home. Next 5 hours, it was almost like homecoming of a soul. When I say that, even now I get goosebumps, because 5 hours he took care of me in a way in which is literally unbelievable. You just cannot. He took me on a home tour, introduced everyone, showed his books, showed his record, showed his diaries. I didn't even know why he was doing all that. And everyone was coming home. He was mocked because by the time more than 100 people had come to Gayatri. He had literally been introducing everyone. And the best thing happened is Krishna, his son, was out of town. And 2 days later, he had come home. And after that, I have never been away from him even for a day when he was in Chennai. After 2 days, when Krishna came home, Master Chariji Maharaj introduced saying, "This is Prakash." Krishna just looked at me deeply, put his hand out, and he said, "Welcome to the family."
Oh, wow.
That's how the journey started. Claude, I think it was a long session. You can translate.
OK. La question, c'était, le thème de la journée, c'est est-ce qu'on a besoin d'un guide pour la méditation? Comment avez-vous rencontré Chariji Maharaj la première fois? Parce que Chariji Maharajam, c'était le 3e président de la mission. Maintenant, le 4e, c'est Daji. Alors, qu'est-ce que vous pourriez partager à ce sujet? En 1992, je dirigeais une très grande organisation et on m'avait offert un poste avec un salaire qui était 5 fois plus élevé. Mais je commençais à m'engrener dans ma pratique et puis je venais juste d'être un petit précepteur. Et on m'avait dit que c'était important d'être près du maître vivant et de passer du temps avec lui. Alors, je suis restée à Chennai et je n'ai pas pris ce grand emploi. Et j'ai fait plusieurs fois j'ai essayé plusieurs fois de le rencontrer au début, plusieurs fois. Et on me disait tout le temps qu'il était occupé, qu'il ne pouvait pas me rencontrer. Alors, le 21 novembre 1992, c'est gravé dans ma mémoire. Je me suis dit, je vais le rencontrer d'une façon ou d'une autre. Alors, il était venu à l'ashram comme d'habitude. Il arrive le vendredi avec son épouse sous l'Ochana. Il reste dans le cottage qui était l'ancien cottage. Et puis, il a conduit le satsang le dimanche. Et puis, je me sentais vraiment rejetée que je ne pouvais jamais le rencontrer. Alors, même après la méditation du dimanche, je m'étais assise très près pensant que je pourrais le voir. Et j'ai pu l'apercevoir, m'observer un peu du coin de l'œil, mais il est parti et je n'ai pas pu le partir. Alors, je suis partie à sa rencontre. Je l'ai suivi, en fait. Et puis, ça n'a pas marché. Il y avait un petit gars qui gardait la porte du maître. Il a dit non, le maître est très occupé, tu ne peux pas rentrer. Alors, il est parti, il a fait une sieste. Et puis, 2h30 après, il est revenu à l'ashram. Et puis, encore, il s'est assis tout près. Et puis, pensant le voir. Et puis, quand il est parti, qu'il a terminé le satsang de l'après-midi, il a couru après lui. Et puis, ça n'a pas marché encore. Il était occupé. Alors, j'avais un scooter dans ce temps-là et quand il est sorti, il est venu pour s'introduire, puis le maître l'a complètement ignoré. Il est rentré dans son auto et il est parti. Il a conduit hors de l'ashram. Il avait un scooter, alors il a couru derrière lui. Il a même sorti de l'ashram avec lui. Il a suivi son auto et quand l'auto s'est arrêtée à une lumière rouge, il s'est introduit. Il a dit « Maître, voici, je suis Prakash ». Et puis, mais le maître l'a regardé, il est parti. Alors voilà, il a dit, bien alors, je vais quand même le suivre jusqu'à chez lui. Alors au lieu d'aller chez lui, de retourner chez lui-même, il a suivi l'auto jusqu'à la maison du maître qui s'appelle Gayatri et qui est située à Alwarpet. Alors, il a stationné son scooter, il est rentré avec plein de sacs, comme s'il venait livrer certains services à la maison. Et tout à coup, tout le monde était souriant. Le maître lui a dit, bienvenue à la maison. Et il est resté 5 heures avec lui. Et puis, il s'est senti comme s'il rentrait à la maison. Il a de la chair de poule juste à s'en rappeler. Le maître lui a montré pendant toute l'après-midi, voici ma famille. Il les a tous introduits, tous les visiteurs, pendant 5 heures. Voici mes livres, voici ma maison, voici où je reste, qu'est-ce que je fais. Et puis, ça a duré 5 heures. Et puis, quand Krishna est venu, après, même 2 jours après, il lui a dit, bienvenue dans la famille. Et il n'a jamais quitté le maître depuis. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Prakash, this was very, very nice. The way how beautiful your story was. It was very touching. And one thing that very evident with the masters is the way how they treat you. Right, the first meeting. I'm sure everyone would have they would have felt that it's a very warm and a personal connect that they are somehow able to give. It's something really amazing. One thing, Prakash, I have heard the story from Chariji. He used to say this as a langoti samarakshana. Like where there is a sage, he would have gone to the forest because he wants to live a very minimalistic life, and so he only goes with a loincloth. And then every time he washes and puts it for dry, a rat will come and put holes on it. To keep the rat away, he will then hire a cat, and then to feed the cat, he will then look for go to the nearby village to get milk for it. And then he would feel every time, why do I have to go? And he will marry the person who he would like to take help from, and finally have a family of that entire thing, right? Most of our life is like that. Like although we may wish to have a minimalistic life, somehow we start acquiring these bells and whistles, and sometimes it just becomes complex. From simple, where we would really like to be, life becomes complex. I have read in some of the books, and then I have found how the masters lead a life of minimalistic thing, like sticking only to their needs. How is that even possible? Have you noticed something like that with Chariji and Daji, and is that something that you would like to share with us?
Quite. Does she want to translate the question, Claude?
Oui, bien sûr. La question, c'est ce que les maîtres nous enseignent, la connexion qu'on a avec lui, c'est très, très précieux. Maintenant, il a parlé du sage. Souvent, les sages veulent vivre des vies très minimalistiques. On a toujours l'image et l'histoire du saint qui s'en va dans la forêt. Il n'a qu'un pagne autour du corps, mais voilà, il faut le laver. Il se fait piquer des vers quand il sèche. Il se procure un chat. Le chat a besoin de lait. Il aura la bergère qui viendra traiter la vache parce qu'il faut avoir une vache. Et comme ça, il va la marier. Et de fil en aiguille, il aura une famille. Alors, c'est l'histoire vraiment que même si on a le désir d'avoir une vie minimale, ça devient toujours complexe. Alors, il demande à Prakash de nous expliquer les exemples de nos maîtres, comment ils ont fait pour vivre des vies simples dans un monde complexe. Thank you.
Yeah, if you really look at the eye of any storm, it is absolutely still and simple, but the entire activities around it. Likewise, I have seen in my experience with Chariji and with Daji that they are absolutely still and simple. People who make it complex are those who are around him. Yeah, I have seen that every gesture, everything that they do speaks of simplicity. The food that they ate, the words that they chose to use, the relationships that they maintained in spite of what they are. We all know what they are. I mean, we don't need to expand on it. Yet, absolutely grounded, absolutely simple, to the extent that when they walk on the street, you might just miss them. And many people did. It was said that Babaji Maharaj had very few abhyasis in Shahjahanpur because he was such a simpleton, in Chariji's own words, that people mistook him for just a nomad, a person, a fakir, as they say in Hindi or in Urdu. The same is true for many of them. In fact, Sulochana Mami used to make fun of Chariji that you are so simple that people don't accept you. Put up some show at least. You have seen him always that even when he went for very big seminars, he used to go in dhoti and a shirt. The same is true for Daji, except when he does certain seminars, he dresses up a bit. Otherwise, you find him in his apartment with just one of those loose bunions on top, like a typical North Indian, and a very simple bottom. Even in the words, everything you will find extreme amount of simplicity, to such an extent that you can be fooled by it. Many times you think you are the same as them, only to find that that simplicity can only be attained by the purity that they reflect. And that is still a long process for each and every one of us. Claude?
Ils vivent de grandes vies simples, ces maîtres. Puis c'est les gens qui sont alentour qui rendent tout compliqué. Mais même à travers la complexité, ils maintiennent leur simplicité. que ce soit dans ce qu'ils mangent, dans les mots qu'ils utilisent, les relations qu'ils entretiennent malgré ce qu'ils sont. Alors, ils sont complètement ancrés dans leur pratique, dans leur vision. Et puis, c'est des qualités qu'on ne peut pas reconnaître. Même si on était pour les rencontrer dans la rue, on pourrait les juger comme étant simples et simplistiques, mais ce n'est pas le cas. Leur vie intérieure n'est pas reflétée à l'extérieur. Et on peut même leur manquer de respect. Alors, souvent, les gens vont leur dire, habillez-vous, essayez de faire un peu du spectacle. Mais souvent, on va les retrouver seulement en habits simples indiens, des banyanes et des dhotis. Et puis, ils vont être simples dans toutes leurs actions. Et ce qui est important, c'est que on se représente, on est seulement aussi bon que la pureté qu'on a à l'intérieur. Alors, avant d'arriver à ça et que ça puisse transgresser et qu'on puisse donner cette image, il y a beaucoup de cheminement à faire encore. That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Prakash, just so you know, there is a stream of questions coming in.
I saw the chat box.
Yeah. It's through chat as well as through social media. Also, we are getting it through Instagram and Twitter also. So before, probably we will try to take a couple of questions towards the end. One interesting thing that I would like to explore is, Prakash, I have heard this, that, with the masters, because they are, more tuned into their heart, the way how they attend to their intuitions inside, because we learn to lead a life from our heart, right? Which means we have to be tuned into the intuitions from inside. I've heard that, it's, you will have to be very alert because there will be a lot of change in the plans when you are with, the masters. And I've heard this with Chariji. I've read it in some books also. Do you have any sort of incidents that you would like to share?
Claude, you want to translate the question?
Oui. La question avec les maîtres, c'est qu'ils sont vraiment en diapason avec leur cœur et leurs intuitions. Et il faut vraiment être en diapason avec notre cœur parce qu'à travers la pratique, il faut maintenir un grand degré, il faut être alerte parce qu'il y a beaucoup de changements qui se produisent avec la méditation. Alors là, il lui demande des exemples dans sa vie et avec les maîtres.
Yeah, thanks to my very long association with two of the global guides, the amount of, beating I have taken, both in terms of not being able to be prepared to meet their expectation, has been, I can write maybe 10 volumes out of that, but I'll share one very interesting anecdote from one of my early travels with Chariji way back in 94, 95. Once we were to pack our bags and go to a tour of Andhra. Then it was an undivided Andhra. We had to go from Chennai to Hyderabad, and from Hyderabad we were supposed to drive through several centers, go to Bangalore, and then come back. The entire tour was planned for about 2 weeks. And the day before we were to leave, he called me and he said, "Come with your bag. What do you intend traveling to Gayatri?" So I went to Gayatri, and he just gave me just 2 of his dresses. We said, "Pack it in your bag. This is sufficient. One day I'll wear one. The next day I'll wash and then wear it." And I said, "Master, we would not, you have to meet a lot of people." He said, "Just listen to what I say." I just packed the bag, and the moment we landed in Hyderabad, people started giving some dresses and all that. So I had to buy another bag and put these dresses separately. And after 2 days, we were to leave the next day morning for by road from the Hyderabad ashram, which was then very close to the Hussain Sagar Lake, which was the city ashram, Domalguda, I think. We were staying in the upper floor where his room was there. I was his travel mate, so I was with him in the night. In the morning, he got ready and he said, "We'll leave by around 7 o'clock by road." This was around 5:30. And 5:30 became 5:45, and there was one more companion who was supposed to get ready and come so that one of us will be there to attend to Chariji's needs. He got ready and then came, and he said, "You quickly go get ready and come. You have another 45 minutes time." And I quickly ran with my dresses, whatever changed dress. I ran into the bathroom to get ready. Came out after 7 minutes. The shocking thing, the ashram was empty. He had packed and left. And that was my first visit to Hyderabad ashram, really speaking. Though I've been to Hyderabad several times, the entire ashram was empty. I was literally in tears. I didn't know really what to do. And somebody said he just got up and left. Apparently, later I realized he had told the companion that let's leave. He didn't even mention about me getting ready and all that. So I just packed my bag, called one Abhyasi locally who was working in railways and said, brother, this is what has happened. Can you get me a ticket back to Chennai this evening? Because I don't know where he is. And very with a forlorn look and a somber face, I was sitting on the road outside the ashram. And suddenly one car came. It was a car of Brother Venkatesh of Bangalore, who apparently is a caravan. Typically, when Charity travels by road, there will be 4 or 5 cars with a designated number for each car. Each was supposed to follow each other by the given number. Normally, there will be a lead car which is given as number 1. Charity's car will be number 2, and there will be 3, 4, 5. And all his belongings, everything else will be there. He had apparently forgotten his bag in the ashram. And he came. And normally all the companion cars are normally filled, where Charity writes the list of names with each car, who will sit in which car where. To that extent, he used to write and give. And it so happened that in this car, he had only mapped 3 people, including the driver, which was Brother Venkatesh. And when he came, I was literally, he came and said, what happened? Why are you sitting here? Didn't you go with Charity? I told him what happened. And he said, just get onto my car. And after about an hour, we caught up with Charity. I went and told him what happened. He just gave me a very dry look. And he said, next time, be better prepared.
Next time what?
He said, be better prepared. And that's how the learning started. Yes, Sister Claudia.
OK. C'est très dur d'être à la hauteur des attentes d'un maître. Je peux vous dire qu'on doit y travailler. Et c'est des leçons. En 1994, il y avait un voyage qui faisait un peu le tour du sud de l'Inde, Andhra Pradesh, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, et ça durait 2 semaines. Et la journée avant de quitter en tournée, Shariji Maharaja a demandé à Prakash de venir le rencontrer à Gayatri et lui a dit non, tu n'emballes que deux habits, un pour une journée, l'autre, tu en auras assez, tu le laveras et comme ça, tu pourras alterner. Mais Prakash lui a dit, oui, mais maître, nous avons plusieurs rencontres, qu'est-ce que je vais faire seulement avec deux robes? Et puis, il lui a dit, non, c'est comme ça, il faut être simple. Et puis, tout au long de la tournée, il a reçu tellement d'habits en cadeau des habits asiques que finalement, il a dû acheter un autre sac. Et il se rappelle un soir plus particulièrement, lorsqu'ils ont quitté Hyderabad, il était avec lui, puisqu'il était son compagnon de travail. Alors, il était pendant la soirée avec lui. Et puis, le matin, à 5h45 du matin, le maître a dit, bon, là, il va falloir se préparer à y aller. Et puis, il disait ça aussi à un deuxième compagnon de travail. Mais tout à coup, il s'est tourné vers Prakash, puis il lui a dit, écoute, on part bientôt, dans 45 minutes, alors va te préparer. Alors, lui, il s'est préparé à la course, il n'a pas pris 45 minutes, il a juste pris 7 minutes. Et lorsqu'il est sorti de la salle de bain, l'ashram était complètement vide. On l'avait laissé pour compte derrière dans l'ashram. Alors, il était en pleurs, il s'est senti très déjecté et mis à l'écart. Et finalement, alors qu'il a essayé d'appeler un compagnon pour avoir un billet de train, ce n'était pas possible. Et tout à coup, très morose, il s'est assis à l'extérieur de l'ashram et il était seul au milieu de n'importe où. Et puis, tout à coup, un frère, le frère Venkatesh, est arrivé avec son auto. Et par chance, il avait oublié son sac dans l'ashram. Et d'habitude, c'était des convois qui sont numérotés et tous à une place assignée parce que c'est très prisé de voyager avec le maître. Et puis, finalement, par chance, il y avait un siège qui était vide et le frère Venkatesh lui a dit « OK, tu peux voyager avec moi ». Et quand qu'il est arrivé, ils ont rattrapé le maître après 1 heure. Il est allé voir tout de suite le maître et lui a dit ce qui s'est passé. Et puis le maître l'a regardé sérieusement. Il lui a dit « Sois prêt la prochaine fois ». Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, one important question because we had to move for satsang also.
No, I know, Prakash. Because people love you so much. People also love that. They want both the worlds. Okay, so one important question now. So you
Are we intending to touch the topic for the day by any chance today, or is going to come up later?
No, that's where I'm actually getting to. So you spoke about how you got into heartfulness, and you spoke about Chariji, and also some about Daji as well. The question that I have is, through this entire journey, have you ever reflected back, even whether it was at the beginning or through this practice, that ever do you need a guide at all to do this meditation? Because you see, through the last week or so, when we had that event with Venerable Bhante Sarnapala, there were many questions which we had got, and there were a series of very interesting questions that we had got. The theme around a few people asking us, look, meditation is all about closing your eyes and then sitting. Either focus on your breath or focus on a particular point. Why do we need a guide at all? Was a question that was there. Have you, in all these 28 plus years, have you ever reflected on that, and what has been your feeling?
Yeah, I'll answer it maybe in a slightly different out-of-box type. One of the famous questions, or rather the way Chariji used to handle Bhargav, his grandson, as a kid, I used to see him. He used to sit in his Tata's lap, grandfather, in Tamil it's called as Tata, and he used to ask questions about everything and anything in the universe. And all Chariji will do is look at him and he will just say, because. Just say, because. And Bhargav will ask him, because? He'll say, because. So I'll say, you need a guide, because. Let me put it this way. 2 days back, I was reading a very interesting abridged version of a book. The author, who is a lady, speaks about the pitfall of people claiming to be self-made man. She elaborates in this book, which I read an abridged version 1 or 2 days ago. I subscribe to a lot of abridged books on site and read about 3-4 a day. So it gives me a lot of perspectives and essence, because my journey in self-motivation, leadership is like that. She was saying that from the time of conception, from the time you hired a womb for the soul, which is your mother, the time you are helped out to be born, the time you learn to walk, eat, crawl, run, read, grow up, become an adult, walk through, is there one single moment that you think you could do anything on your own? The self-made man is one of the biggest myths in this world, which satisfies our ego that I have done. For example, I am sitting here and talking to you mainly because my spouse is taking care of the house. In fact, she is doing the duty of ensuring that if power goes, how to reroute the Wi-Fi and ensure that the UPS stays on. If she is not doing that job, and if power goes off in between, which happens quite often in this part of the world, imagine what is likely to happen. I was talking on the same topic about a year back for one of the TV channels, famous TV channels in South India. So I asked this question for people to introspect. So I asked them, how many of you know swimming? Out of about 50 people who are present, 20 people raised their hands. I asked for the rest of the 30 people who are yet to learn swimming. For the next 30 days, I will teach you how to swim by sending you email or WhatsApp videos. And at the end of 30 days, I'll put you in a swimming pool which is 20 feet deep. And I'm very sure all of you can swim. They all said, Prakash, are you stupid? How can I swim? I said, you watched the YouTube videos, you know how to swim. Why don't you jump in? The same is true for meditation. The same is true for anything that you do. Let's put it this way. Even if you are good at giving a haircut, you still need to go to another barber to take a haircut. I did attempt once or twice to give haircut to myself and landed in a miserable mess. The next 10 days till the hair grew back again, I couldn't step out of my house. I had to wear a cap. Even if you're a dentist, the examples can go on and on and on. You see, even when you're sitting with your eyes closed, are you sure that you are on the right path? Do you know that you are on the right path? Do you know that what your goal is? Do you know how to reach there? Even in this material world, let me ask you, all the famous businessmen of this world who are multi-billionaires, in their last year financial plan for financial year 2021 or 1920, did they predict the pandemic and the impact of the business which is going to go through because of the pandemic we are currently facing? We can't. We hardly can. For example, I am traveling, say, from Chennai to Bangalore by road in the night. At the best, with my headlights on, I can see about 50 to 100 meters. What do I rely on? I rely on a GPS, a map. Even with my headlights on, I have to be very sure that I don't take a detour. A GPS is a global positioning system. Likewise, the GPS in meditation is nothing but a God positioning system. And the GPS works with better coordinates, which are better understood by the map service provider. In this case, the guru who has already taken the path. Out of your own ego, you can take the path. But imagine after 20 years or 30 years, you come back and find out that you have just been going around in circles all along for 30 years without even commencing your yatra or moving. And then you lament, why did I miss it? From an external perspective, Einstein's famous statement, when you are part of the problem, you can never solve it. You need a perspective outside of yourself. I can give advice, the best of business strategy to some of the best mid-cap and large companies in India, which I've been doing. But when it comes to improving my own company, I go to some other advisor. I don't rely on my advice because I'm part of the problem. I can't look at it unattached. At least a guru, take him as a bouncing ball. Leave alone whether he transmits to you, whether pranahuti works or not. All that blah, blah, let's leave it. Let's experience and see whether it works. But one thing that I need is a person to whom I can go and ask at least once a year, once a month, once in a quarter, once in 6 months. Am I on the right track? Do I need course correction? Last week, there was a very interesting article. Indian railway system is one of the oldest railway system in the world, third or fourth oldest. All the tracks, the tracking system, everything is perfect. But last week, one train took about 4 days to reach the destination because the driver missed the signal, so he went off in a different direction. What he needed was just a course correction to the path. Many times, that's what a guide does. I think we're running out of time. Maybe Claude can translate, and then maybe we have to take a call on the satsang time.
Yes. Okay. We go back. On retourne à la question, est-ce qu'on a vraiment besoin d'un guide? Et puis, parce que finalement, la méditation, ce n'est que de fermer les yeux, d'appliquer des techniques. Alors, cette question du guide, quelle a été votre expérience? Alors, ce que Prakash dit, c'est que Shariji, souvent, Guru Maharaj, il était assis, son petit-fils Bhargav s'assoyait sur ses genoux. Et il lui posait toujours des questions sur l'univers, même quand il était jeune. Il lui demandait toujours des questions, des grandes questions. Et toutes les réponses du maître, c'était toujours maintiens ta trajectoire. Alors, il lui disait, mais pourquoi? Et le maître de lui répondre, parce que. Alors, nous, on a besoin d'un guide parce que il y a tellement d'embûches, il y a tellement de trappes dans lesquelles on peut tomber. Il y a une femme qui a écrit un livre et puis elle discute des gens qui font la proclamation qu'ils sont des hommes qui se sont faits eux-mêmes, qu'ils ont réussi. Mais c'est plein d'embûches parce que en fait, il lit 3 ou 4 livres sur la motivation par jour, alors il peut, puisque c'est son travail, et il dit du moment qu'on est né, qu'on est dans le ventre de notre mère, qu'on apprend à marcher, à courir, qu'on devient des adultes, est-ce qu'il y a même un seul moment où on peut dire que c'est nous qui l'avons fait de nous-mêmes? Non, on fait partie d'un soutien, d'un réseau qui nous aide à vivre et à progresser. C'est vraiment l'ego qui dit j'arrive à faire tout par moi-même. Je suis ici, par exemple, aujourd'hui parce que ma femme est à la maison et qu'elle prend soin de notre maison en ce moment. Ou même tous les gens qui s'occupent des plateformes Zoom et WhatsApp et tout ça, ça prend tout un réseau de gens qui font que certains moments comme ceux-ci peuvent se passer. Une fois, il dit, je faisais partie d'une émission de télévision et j'ai posé la question, combien d'entre vous savent nager? Il y a 20 sur 50 personnes qui ont dit oui, je sais nager. mais dans les 30 prochains jours, il leur a proposé de leur envoyer des techniques comment nager par courriel et puis qu'il leur a assuré qu'ils pourraient commencer à nager par la suite. Et c'est passé en fait comme ça, c'était de la motivation. C'est la même chose pour la méditation. Si vous essayez par exemple de vous couper vos cheveux vous-même ou de vous faire un travail de dentiste sur vous-même, c'est sûrement voué à l'échec, où il donne aussi l'image, est-ce que vous connaissez le vrai chemin? Si par contre, et comment vous rendre à un endroit. Si vous voyagez la nuit par auto et que vous avez vos phares allumés, vous pourrez sans doute continuer pour voir 150 mètres à l'avant. Mais si vous avez un système GPS, mais à ce moment-là, vous allez vous assurer que vous ne vous perdez pas. Et le guide, c'est vraiment, ça agit comme un GPS lorsqu'on chemine sur la route. Ils savent où on est et où on s'en va. Alors, notre propre ego nous fait prendre un certain cheminement, mais on peut s'essayer par nous-mêmes. Mais qu'est-ce qu'on va faire dans 30 ans si on se dit, ah, tout ce que j'ai fait, ce n'était que de marcher en rond ou de circuler en rond et je n'ai rien atteint. Alors, comme disait Einstein, si vous faites partie du problème, vous pouvez pas résoudre ou trouver la solution. Il faut vraiment une guidance, un guide qui est de l'extérieur, qui peut mieux nous aviser. Alors, le guide, il peut faire plusieurs choses. Il peut vous dire, voici ce qu'il faut faire. Et puis, on a la chance de pouvoir lui parler, que ce soit une fois par année ou une fois par quelques mois, pour lui demander, est-ce que je suis vraiment sur la bonne track, sur le bon cheminement? Et puis, est-ce que j'ai besoin de changer certaines choses? Et voilà, comme ça, on ne manquera pas des signaux importants et on ne se perdra pas pour rien et en vain. Thank you.
So, Prakash, it was nice in exploring some of these ones. Maybe it's time for us to now go for a group meditation. One interesting thing I will share is, Prakash, we have got some, few seekers who have joined us for the first time to explain heartfulness too. So would you be able to lead us into heartfulness, Prakash, closing our eyes and give a sitting?
Yeah, sure. Can I skip the relaxation? Just
yes.
Do they know how to meditate, or should I have to tell them?
Maybe just a reminder, and then we can start.
For the seekers, maybe I have to make it slow so that Sister Claude can translate. For those who have joined us for the first time, very hearty welcome to Heartfulness Institute. What we do is nothing but find ourselves who is inside, and then by jumping inside. Meditation is nothing but resting your thought with a single thought and then expanding it further. We just close our eyes and just make a supposition that the source of light is present in your heart, and you are just holding the thought for about 20-25 minutes. From the time I say please start meditation till the time you hear that's all. If you get any thoughts, just ignore, because that is the role of the mind. The heart is what does the job of meditating. We meditate on the heart with a supposition. The source of light, which is present everywhere, is present in my heart too. Hold that supposition for about 25 to 30 minutes till you hear the word that's all. Sister Claude.
Okay. Alors, pour les nouvelles personnes qui essayent ça pour les premières fois, comment méditer, c'est que vous donnez la pensée que la lumière divine est prête et présente dans mon cœur, et vous ne faites qu'épandre cette pensée durant toute la méditation. Et s'il y a des pensées, elles vont survenir, mais ne les suivez pas, vous les ignorez. Et vous maintenez sur le cœur. Et vous grandissez avec cette pensée. Et le frère Prakash va dire commencez à méditer, puis il dira c'est terminé, et vous ouvrez les yeux.
Yeah. Please start meditation. Close your eyes till you hear the word that's all. Keep your eyes closed. Rest with the supposition of a thought that the source of light is present in your heart. Please start. all. Yes, Vishwa.
It was really very beautiful. Thank you so much, Prakash. We still have a lot more to dive into, but we will just stick to the time now, being 10:30. Once again, thank you so much for joining. If you have some time, we will discuss about the upcoming weeks, and if you are available in one of those upcoming weeks, we will have one more session. And there have been some questions which we have received. I have them noted down. Probably, in the upcoming sessions, if we are able to arrange one with you, we will take up those questions.
You can do that. Need not be on a Sunday, can be on a comfortable weekend or a weekday also. I am okay with it.
Yes, okay. And another thing is, this was a very new experiment we tried with you this morning. And unfortunate that there were many people who wanted to join, and we also had those who were unwelcome, who joined and tried to bomb our session. So probably the next session we will try to make it a little better. We will organize things a little better. We learn, we evolve out of the experience. So thanks for all those who joined. And Prakash, would you like to share some closing words?
Yeah, for those specifically who have taken your introductory sittings today, you can be in touch with the organization team of Canada through the chat boxes here. They will arrange your completion of introductory sittings. Normally, you need to take 2 more on consecutive days. And for those in Heartfulness Canada, be at it. I mean, we are still a very minuscule population in terms of what we are. But I believe in minority leadership, and all the big changes have happened through people who believed in a cause, and they were very small to start with. I'm very sure that with the committed BSCs and preceptors who are available there, it's only a question of time before you take Heartfulness as a footprint in the full of Canada, and I wish you the very best for it. Sister Claude?
Oh, sorry, 1 minute. Sorry, 1 minute. Can you unmute yourself?
OK. Alors voilà, merci. C'est une nouvelle expérience et il y a des choses à apprendre parce que la plateforme a causé quelques troubles avec des spams, mais on va essayer de refaire et de continuer cette session avec Brother Prakash, avec le frère Prakash, parce qu'il y a eu plusieurs questions et qu'on continuera d'y répondre. Pas nécessairement un dimanche, ça pourrait être un jour de semaine. Mais ce qui est le plus important, c'est que ceux qui ont pris un sitting individuel pour la première fois aujourd'hui, s'il vous plaît, contactez l'organisation. Vous pouvez écrire à travers le chat room. Vous pouvez écrire un message sur cette plateforme pour vous assurer qu'on vous connecte avec un précepteur et que vous terminiez vos deux sittings individuels en des jours consécutifs afin de pouvoir poursuivre. Merci beaucoup.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone joined. I think we will meet again next week on different subject. All right. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Prakash. Bye.